are two senators, Republicans, from the state of Oklahoma, Tom Coburn and James Inhofe. And here is what they had to say. Inhofe. And here's what they had to say in light of this most recent tragedy that has struck Oklahoma in the form of a tornado. So Oklahoma residents are now turning to government assistance for emergency disaster aid after the tornado ripped through the state this past Monday. But the same night that many residents lost their homes, Senator Tom Coburn told CQ Roll Call that he would absolutely require any federal disaster aid to be offset by other budget cuts. He later clarified, promising, "I can assure Oklahomans that any and all available aid will be delivered without delay." Both the state senators, Inhofe and Coburn, have long worked to undermine FEMA, even though their state heavily relies on disaster aid. And let me remind you of some of these cases. In September 2011, Coburn offered an amendment to offset $6.9 billion in FEMA funding. He voted in 2011 against FEMA after it had run out of money, because, in his own words, funding FEMA would have been unconscionable. Inhofe did not vote. Harry Reid fired back at these Republicans blocking the bill for necessary funding for FEMA. Inhofe proposed removing grants for storm shelter programs coordinating with FEMA, instead promoted individuals with tax breaks. Coburn criticized items in the Sandy disaster relief, such as $1.9 billion for disaster mitigation and $366 million for Amtrak, as quote-unquote wasteful spending. And after Hurricane Sandy, Inhofe and Coburn both voted against a bill for $50 billion in Hurricane Sandy disaster relief. And now what does he want? Relief for his state. You can't have it both ways, Richards. What are your thoughts?
I agree here. I think this is hypocrisy at its finest. And it's funny that it's like when it's not in my backyard, I'm willing to do whatever I want to do with it. So that's what happened in New Jersey. And for those people in New York who got devastated by FEMA, devastated by Superstorm Sandy. And now all of a sudden, because it's happening in their state, now it's okay for them to get funding. This is the same funding, the same type of natural disasters, and yet, you know, they're like, we need to offset it. What are they going to offset it by? That's my question.
I mean, I think that this line of logic could be extended to any kind of Republican value if you really put your fingers on it. We've seen in the case with gay marriage, we've seen a lot of Republicans who end up finding out that one of their children is gay, and then they switch their opinion. They say, wow, this is what it's really like. These are real people. They aren't just nameless faces on the other side of the country. Maybe I do support gay marriage. And the same thing here. It's so easy when it's not your state and you're not having to worry about getting reelected to just say, screw them, it's on the state, the federal government has enough problems to worry about. And now, as tragedy struck Oklahoma, we're seeing both of these senators change their tune completely. Yeah,
that's hypocrisy at its finest for you. That really is Republican hypocrisy. And the sad part is that all the Democrats, we're going to get in line, and we should, and we're going to vote for relief for the people of Oklahoma.
Exactly.
And sadly, when the Gucci's on the other foot, and it's time for the Republicans to vote for relief for the people of New Jersey or the people of Katrina, they're like, oh no, we can't vote for this. This is really bad government spending.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, it really blows my mind when you think about it.
The devastation. I mean, all the devastation. Like, I just want Coburn and Inhofe to go. Like, I mean, I wish that because I would guarantee you this: the same stories that you hear in Oklahoma are the same exact stories that you heard on the Jersey Shore, the same stories you heard on Staten Island. These are the same stories. People suffering great loss, losing your home, losing your lifestyle. And the sad part is people who play politics with that is just horrendous to me.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Richard. I would respect these two senators if they came out and said, we don't want the federal relief. This is part of our core principles as Republicans, that the federal government should not be helping us. I would respect that.
I really would. I would totally respect that. But this is just horrible.
Honestly, I can't see any Republican member of Congress ever doing that if a natural disaster happens.
No, this is just deplorable. This is absolutely deplorable. This is Republican Party at their finest. So you shouldn't be surprised. Like the commercial says, they are who we thought they were.